So picture this. It's a cold January day in 2024, and you've got these American soldiers from C Company working in Lithuania. These guys are part of the 87th Division Sustainment Support Battalion, which is basically a fancy name for the people who help move heavy stuff around for the Army. They're working under the 3rd Division Sustainment Brigade, and let me tell you, they've got one seriously tough job ahead of them. These soldiers need to move a massive M1 Abrams tank from a place called Rukla in Lithuania all the way across Europe to another spot called Pabrade. Now, when I say this tank is heavy, I mean really heavy. We're talking about something that weighs as much as dozens of cars put together. You can't just drive this thing on regular roads like you would drive your family car to the grocery store. That's where some pretty amazing machines come into play. The soldiers are using something called the M1300 tractor and M1302 trailer system. Think of it like the world's most powerful truck and trailer combination, but way cooler and much more expensive than anything you'd see on a regular highway. The whole reason these American soldiers are in Europe isn't just to move tanks around for fun. The 3rd Infantry Division has a really important mission over there. They're working with friends from other countries, especially NATO allies, which are basically countries that have promised to help protect each other. These soldiers practice together, train together, and learn how to work as a team. It's like when different schools come together for a big sports tournament, except instead of playing games, they're learning how to keep everyone safe. Now let's talk about the vehicles that make all this possible. Before the current system, the Army used different trucks called the Oshkosh M1070 tractor. This truck comes in 2 main types, the A0 and A1 versions. It's Ike having an iPhone 12 and an iPhone 13, they do similar things, but the newer one has some improvements. This truck works together with a special trailer called the M1000 semi-trailer, which was made by a company called Diagnostic Retrieval Systems Technologies. But here's the interesting part. These weren't the first trucks the Army used for this job. Before the M1070, they had an older system with the M911 tractor and M747 semi-trailer. It's like how your parents might have had flip phones before they got smartphones. The older system worked, but the newer one works much better. These trailers have one main job, and it's a pretty important one. They're specially designed to carry the M1 Abrams main battle tank and other really heavy military vehicles. We're talking about machines that weigh between 82 and 90 tons. To put that in perspective, that's like carrying about 60 regular cars all stacked on top of each other. The Oshkosh M1070 tractor is what's called an 8-8 vehicle, which means it has 8 wheels that can all help push the truck forward. This isn't your average pickup truck. This thing is built like a monster. The U.S. Army and other military forces around the world use these trucks because they can handle incredibly heavy loads. They can carry tanks, armored personnel carriers, which are like super-strong buses for soldiers, self-propelled artillery, big guns that can move by themselves, and even armored bulldozers. But here's where things get really interesting. The Army realized they needed something even better for working in Europe. That's where the M1300 comes in. This newer version was specifically designed to meet European Union standards, which are the rules that European countries have about what kinds of vehicles can drive on their roads. The M1300 is lighter in some places and has its weight distributed differently than the older models. The engineers who designed it figured out how to make it carry even heavier loads, up to 90 tons, which is about the same as 180,000 pounds. That's incredibly heavy. To make this work, they had to create a completely new kind of semi-trailer with multiple axles. Speaking of different versions, Oshkosh Defense, the company that makes these trucks, came up with some other options too. They created the HET-A1 and Global HET-A1, which are like cousins of the M1070A1. The biggest difference is that these newer versions have 3 axles instead of 4. You might wonder why they would use fewer axles, but sometimes having fewer parts can actually make a vehicle more flexible and easier to maintain. These HET-A1 versions were chosen for some very specific jobs. One of the coolest things they transport is something called the Jobaria Multiple Launch Rocket System, which sounds like something straight out of a science fiction movie, but is actually a real piece of military equipment. Both the HET-A1 and Global HET-A1 are powered by some seriously impressive engines. They use a 700 horsepower Caterpillar C18 engine. To give you an idea of how powerful that is, most regular cars have engines with between 150 and 300 horsepower. These trucks have more than twice that power. They also have an Allison 4800S mission, which is the part that helps transfer all that engine power to the wheels, and a single-speed Oshkosh 3000 series transfers chassis. But wait, there's more cool stuff. Both of these truck versions come with 2 winches that can each pull 55,000 pounds. A winch is basically a really strong mechanical rope that can pull heavy things. Having 2 of these means the truck can help pull stuck vehicles out of mud or snow, or help position heavy equipment exactly where it needs to go. The people who drive these trucks don't have to suffer in uncomfortable conditions either. Both models have a cab that can fit 6 people and comes with air conditioning. They also meet something called long-term armor strategy standards, which means they have special protection to keep the people inside safe. Now let's talk about the trailer part of this system, the M1302. This trailer is absolutely massive and impressive. While the older M1000 trailer used with the M1070 had 5 axles, the M1302 has 8 axles. More axles means the weight gets spread out over more wheels, which makes it possible to carry heavier loads without damaging roads or getting stuck. This trailer can carry 85 tons of cargo, which is just mind-boggling when you think about it. It has some really neat features too, like an adjustable gooseneck. The gooseneck is the part that connects the trailer to the truck, and being able to adjust it means they can transport different kinds of equipment more easily. The trailer also has hydraulic ramps, which are like mechanical ramps that can be raised and lowered using fluid pressure. This makes it much easier to load and unload heavy vehicles. There's even a diesel engine auxiliary power unit built right into the trailer that runs all the hydraulic systems for the gooseneck, steering, and suspension. The M1302 trailer rolls on 32 tires plus 1 spare tire. That's a lot of rubber hitting the road. It has a special suspension system that can adjust the height and level of the trailer, and this system works independently on each side. This means if one side hits a bump or dip in the road, the other side can stay level. For safety, the trailer uses a 2-line straight-air brake system with spring-actuated park and emergency features. The tires are special Michelin radials in size 250x75 R17.5, and the whole system connects using a 3.5-inch diameter kingpin that follows US and NATO heavy-duty standards and can be removed when needed.